Hey, my friend, and welcome in. This is Heights Online Weekend Countdown. So glad you're with us. My name's Owen. We are live today from Heights Prescott location, and we'll get you set up in a minute with just who we are and what we're doing right now. We got Charles with us. We got Julie with us. We'll explain who these people are in just a second. Charles and I are in matching coordinated flannel shirts. Julie went with another option. We had a plan for her all flannel shirts. She did something else. We'll explain why she's wearing that t-shirt, or actually it's like a sweatshirt.
It's a crew
Did you
neck.
get the?
No,
okay,
it's
you didn't
just
do
a
the
crew
hood.
neck.
Okay,
No.
all right, we'll explain that in a second. We got a lot to talk about. We got David at the controls who opted to not have his producer camera on today, which is making us sad. So we're gonna kind of make fun of him for that for the next 20 minutes. And in the meantime, we're gonna get ourselves all set up and ready for the start of our live gathering here at 10:30. In the meantime, we're just hanging out and enjoying each other. In the chat right now, we got some people jumping in. We'd love to have you join us too. Just say hello, let us know maybe where you're joining us from, and if you have any winter weather in your part of the country, in your part of the city. Here in Prescott, it's sunny today. We had some chilly weather coming this week, though. It's going to be
yeah, it was freezing this week.
It was super cold, kind of cloudy. I had friends from out of town come through, and they're like, "This is Arizona." Like it was cloudy and like moody and cold.
And freezing.
Yeah, people always assume Arizona is like sunshine, hot Phoenix, but it's like, no, we have a northern part that like gets cold and cloudy. Not that we got any rain or snow, but
no, but they're all for sure. If they come out to visit, like these were friends from Texas, and they're like, they came in and they're like, "Where's all the cactus? What are these trees doing? Here's a whole."
Oh, they didn't know Arizona had pine trees.
And we don't tell them because then, like, everybody wants to move here because it's beautiful.
Yeah, well, apparently the word's gotten out because, I mean, we definitely have people moving here.
We are literally just surrounded by cactus. We can't, and it's 120 degrees all the time, just for the record.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so meanwhile, you may be wondering, especially if you're brand new to us, who are these people and what are you guys doing? So a little word of explanation. So we're Heights Church. We are out in Arizona, and we are here to help you live the life you were created for in Jesus. That's like what motivates us and drives us. It's why we do what we do, and that includes this gathering here. So there are ways you can find out more about us, and we'd love to connect with you well beyond just the few minutes we have here together. There's a whole world of friendship, connection, help, encouragement that's at your fingertips, and I want to give you a few ways you can connect with that. First one is just simply go to our website. You can go to heightschurch.com, and when you go there, scroll down a little bit, and you will see Heights Online. Tap that, and then you can do a couple things. You can actually ask for prayer. We can drop a prayer request in. You can also sign up for email updates. Super important. Get connected with us that way. And then there's something special on the website today that you guys on that Heights Online page, I want to talk to you about in a little bit later, but you can connect with us there. And then you can also download the Heights app, which is amazing. It's beautiful, super useful. There's past messages on there. There's like upcoming events. There's ways to connect. You can message us. All that is there on the Heights app. So you can check us all out there at heightschurch.com. Other way you can connect with us is simply just jump in the chat. We got people in the chat right now. We got Peggy is here. We got Studio in the chat. Peggy's here to take prayer requests if you want to drop those in. We're definitely praying for you. We got Sarah in the chat. My wife, Sarah, is there saying Merry Christmas to Charles.
Aww.
And she put a little puppy emoji. That's from Lewis. That's our dog, Lewis.
Aww.
We got Lori TK in the chat saying hello to Julie.
Hey, Lori.
And asking about the Lego house. All right, we'll check that out in a second. And we got Paula jumping in from Temecula, California, saying it's raining in Temecula.
Oh, that must be nice.
And she's happy about that. And then Studio says she's in Phoenix. It's 45 degrees. So it's a little chilly for old Phoenix.
Yeah, that is kind of a little chilly for Phoenix. They probably got their like parkas and their like fur-lined.
Studio is sitting there wearing her fur-lined giant puffer coat, barely able to type with the mittens that she's wearing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Because she only has the ones that's like the thumb.
Have you ever tried to type with it's probably just her thumbs? Like,
typing with the thumbs.
Yes.
I can see it,
Challenging.
I can see that.
Okay, so we got Charles here because last couple weeks, Charles, we've been here, you've been with us online, and we're creating a little online Lego Christmas house here.
Oh,
so Charles, you want to give us a little tour and show us a little bit about the house maybe and like how it's going?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so show us what you got.
So
Here, just talk to me. I'll take care of however he's looking at everything. All right, don't move it too much. Let's look at the front side real quick. We got this. Thanks, David, for the awesome shot. So we got on the front. On the front porch. There's like a little bird up there.
there's a little door. We have decorations.
Does the door open?
A little bit.
Okay, can you push the door open from the back side? Here we go.
Ding dong.
Ding dong. All right, and then we come inside the house. You want to flip it around?
Sure.
Okay. I love the little holly along the windows, just like my house. It's just perfect.
And so
Exactly
we got
like
a little table right here.
Table.
We got
Yes.
some stockings over here.
Stockings over here, over the
Got
fireplace.
A big fat chimney that goes
fat
right
chimney,
here.
I like it.
Got a little fire in there.
We have
Cozy.
a little bedroom right here with a desk, because the girl who gets the Christmas present, she loves rockets and
Okay.
science.
Oh, she's like a science girl.
Oh, so am I getting a rocket then? Am I the girl?
That's
Is
kind of
that
you.
me?
You're
Like-
kind of science girl.
And she
Look, here she is.
Oh, there we go.
She
Oh, that's
has her-
definitely not me.
Let's see.
she has her own little bed,
She daydreams about science.
and sometimes at day she will sit in her little chair, whatchamacallit,
Yep.
and she will just sit there and write on this thing.
Okay. Oh,
but
she got her
on
desk right
Christmas
there.
Very
Eve,
nice.
she comes down here and with her family and starts
And she's
having
leaving.
A
It
meal.
looks like she's got a little cookies and milk for Santa there by the fire.
Oh, yeah,
those are for
she
you,
does.
right?
Yeah, Santa,
Santa?
In quotes.
Santa.
Santa.
I
Santa won't know if you eat his cookies, right?
Santa prefers chocolate milk and
Oh, chocolate
Not
milk.
true.
and
Liar.
chocolate chip cookies, just for the record.
Liar. Oh, great. I
Awesome.
just
So
ripped her.
Charles, thanks, buddy. Okay, so just like our houses for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Picture perfect Christmas. I mean,
Oh,
just
absolutely.
very
Like,
smooth. Nothing
very
goes wrong
picture
at all.
perfect.
Yeah, actually,
Right?
I have a funny confession to make.
Okay. Oh, this is why you're here, is for these funny confessions. So please continue.
Last week, I actually watched service online.
Wait, what?
Right? And
How was
since
it?
it was somewhat warm, I had my phone with me, and I was actually decorating for Christmas outside while we are talking about peace and not being cluttered.
Yes.
I was like, am I doing this wrong? But I mean, I feel pretty peaceful. So that was fun, but I was, able to enjoy my morning, but still be able to connect with the Word and connect with church and still do some things that I needed to do. So.
Yeah, very cool. Well, that's awesome. That's kind of what online is for. Is like, I mean, we got people, that are nowhere near where we are. They can jump in, or it could be, life and everything set up. Just it doesn't work out for you to join in. You can jump in online with us, and we love that. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Plus,
Okay.
you can be in your PJs.
I mean, that's not always a bad thing either. That's right. Okay, we got to talk to Julie a little bit. So, Julie, you are, among other things, I mean, you're awesome. You are probably one of the most decorated serve team members in Heights history.
Decorated serve team, all right.
Because you've been a part of like every possible serve team. Right now, what's the lanyard you're wearing?
All right, so the one I have now this morning, there we go, is for production. I'm running the lights this morning, so if I just disappear, it's because I have to go do the other things that I'm running this morning.
Yeah, we're kind of stealing you from production team for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I have the time.
Yeah. Okay, and then and then you're a teacher.
Yep.
I mean, you're kind of like science girl in
Well, I'm teaching history now. Science Girl is just a brief interlude.
yeah. Are you? Oh yeah. So talk. All right. So I do have to ask. I mean, I got so many things. Talk about you becoming a history teacher. Like, I mean, is that something? I mean, when did you set out to go? Hey, I'd like to become a history teacher. How'd that come about?
Gotcha. Well, the very short version is I kind of always knew I was supposed to be a teacher. I've done like a lot of ministry. I've helped out with children's church. I was on staff for the children's team a little while, but I was like, teachers don't get paid very well. And so I did like a few jobs or explored a few careers that paid more. But it just really came down to like, what did God create for me to do?
Okay.
And He created for me to be a teacher, and I've just always loved history. So I was like, well, if I'm going to be a teacher, I want to be able to teach history. And it was just amazing how every door just was open and getting the college paid for, and then landing my first job, and then the job that I had now. I can just see how God's hand was on all of it, because I am pursuing and doing what He's created me to do.
Yeah, oh, that's beautiful. I really, really truly love when we got people who know Jesus, love Jesus, like step into public spaces and just bring who you are, like you're doing, into the classroom. It's not like, and I think that's just really powerful, because those kids, the way you treat them, the way you love them and care for them, it just, I don't know, it's just an incredible statement of God's love for those kids coming through you. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I would not be able to do the job as a teacher if I didn't have God's power helping me, because there's definitely been days where I've texted my parents and been like, today's not going well, please pray for me. I'm about ready to murder some of these kids. And I send up a prayer to you, and then God's always faithful and helps me have patience through the situation, or however I need him to show up in the classroom with me that day.
That's beautiful. All right, I want to ask you a little bit more about just you and your walk with Jesus and how that got started in a second. All right, so I'll let you think about that while we say hi to some folks in the chat and kind of reset. For those just joining us, we're Heights Church. This is our Heights Online weekend countdown. We're getting ready for the start of our 10:30 service live here from our Prescott location, and we love having you along with us for that. That's Arizona time, by the way, so it's just about 10 o'clock, a little 10 after 10 right now, Arizona time. So we got about 20 minutes to go. We'll jump in there for services. In the meantime, talking to Julie, I got my son Charles is here with us.
Hi.
Charles, are you going to start building on that Lego set a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, let's go, buddy. I want to see some progress. Okay, so he's going to work. Okay. He's working on his Lego set, building a picture-perfect Christmas, just like my Christmas this year, exactly like this, right? Okay, so I have to tell you funny stories about Christmas adventure yesterday with my family.
Okay, I'm totally ready for this.
But first, let's say hi to some folks in the chat. We got Cameron in the chat saying, let's normalize PJs at church. Let's not save PJs for online. Cameron, I am here for it, my friend. I'm here for it. In fact, there's a start. We're moving in that direction next week, because it's actually ugly sweater Christmas to next week. When you come to services, wear your ugly Christmas sweater. Get comfy. So Cameron, let's see that. That's kind of a first step toward let's get those PJs normalized at church. I love that.
I actually was worried that I missed it. I thought it was this week when I was driving over this one. I was like, no, I missed that. I was so sad. And then as I was looking at the pre-service slides, I'm like, oh, it's next week. I just have to remember next week, because I am very excited about that.
You're actually excited about it.
I am. I love my Christmas sweaters. I mean, I don't think they're ugly, but
I mean, there's a whole thing about teachers and their sweaters.
Oh, is there? I thought it was just for the male teachers, though.
No, it's like the teacher wearing the crazy snowman Christmassy over the top sweater is like a thing. You can't be a real legit teacher and not wear a crazy Christmas sweater at some point.
I suppose that's true. I actually have this Christmas sweater. Maybe I'll wear it next week. It's got a cat and a Christmas tree, and it says "Feline, the Christmas Spirit."
See, that's exactly what your high school, your history teacher would wear during Christmas. I'm saying you're a full-scale teacher.
Yeah.
We got
living the part.
Jeffers is in the chat saying, good morning, thinking about going in person today. Dude, come on down anytime. Now you know 3 of us that are here in person.
Absolutely.
Too. You can come say hi to us. We're at Prescott today. We also have, meanwhile, at the same time today, 10:30, down at Park Collective in Prescott Valley. We're in person there too. So whatever works for you. You got time, my man. Jump in the car and scoot down there. We'd love to meet you up here in Prescott. We're down at Park Collective. And then we got, couple questions to answer. First is... we got a question, Rick. Yes, we have communion today. So, by the way, if you're with us, heads up, communion is coming as part of the service today. So go ahead and grab some communion supplies, and you can be ready to join us. Rick, thanks for the question. I'm trying to remember to let you guys know when that's coming, so thank you for that. And then we also have a question about schedule for Christmas services. So we do have some special Christmas services coming too. You're going to hear more about that as the month unfolds. And we are going to be online for a couple of those services. We're going to be online on the 23rd and the 24th. They're going to be identical services. And we're going to have some fun before the service, getting to check out all the activities we have set up and everything too. So we'll be here for you online as well as in person. We're going to have 3 Christmas services on the 23rd and 3 on the 24th. And then we're going to have a special online gift for you on Christmas Day. So you want to be hanging out for that too. And then, yes. And, Lori, Lori TK in the chat. Lori, remember we had her on last week?
Yes.
Oh, you did, because you were online with us.
I did see it.
And so she's our Park Collective gal, and she is saying thank you to all of you who have been putting out, sending food over for our holiday food drive. That food's been coming in all week long, and so she's just celebrating that. Okay, so, and then we got, shout out real quick to Michael and Michael Jr. and Gina, all joining us from Tucson today. So we love having you guys in too. What's the weather like in Tucson? Probably a little warmer than it is up here at Prescott. Okay, so let's talk about you and Jesus a little bit. How did your relationship with Jesus, how'd that all come about? How's it going?
Well, so I have been really blessed to have grown up in a Christian family with two parents who are very strong Christians. I remember as a kid, my dad would make a point of doing like these family devotionals where, we would sit down, he would read scripture, we would talk about it. Sometimes he'd get a little theological on us, which when I was 6, I'm like looking at him, like, what are you doing, Dad? But then, of course, as I got older, I grew to appreciate it more. And then, I went to college a few times, and you know how it is.
A few times?
Yes, a few times.
All right. We may have a follow-up question.
I studied a couple of different things before, really settling on teaching. And, I made some dumb mistakes, as, sometimes college students do. But God has just always been so faithful to always call me back. And, when you are trying to listen for His Holy Spirit, like, that's one of the amazing things about God is that, He never gives up. He's always there, waiting, watching.
Yeah, that's right.
Just with open arms, being like, hey, come back to me. I'm here for you. I love you so, so much. And so He's definitely been there for me in that respect. And that's sort of a little, tie-in to the sermon. I'm not going to say too much about.
Okay, wait, what? Little tease for the sermon today.
Yeah, so, God's just always been so faithful in my life. In those times that, I've kind of been a little bit of a dum-dum. Yeah. He's always been there to draw me back in and shower me with His love and His grace. So
that's beautiful. I feel like a lot of us, by default for some reason, we think of God as looking and waiting for our mistakes versus the other way around, which I think because our mistakes is that's the default. We're just by default, just one mistake after the other, right? This is
Absolutely,
how we roll.
Yeah.
But then what He's actually looking for is those moments where we actually just turn to Him, embrace Him, and He's right there ready. It's like the prodigal son, that story of just God is ready for us to just turn around, acknowledge Him, and He's right there with open arms ready to love us,
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always kind of in those movies a lot of times where somebody will be really upset or mad or crying or something, and there's that person that comes along and just gives them that hug that they actually just so desperately needed, and sometimes they'll let them kind of hit them or whatever, and a lot of times I kind of will get that image of God, He's not gonna run away from our dirt, from our if we're yelling or screaming at Him, He's right there still listening.
Yeah,
and He's not afraid of our hurt or our pain, and He has exactly what we need in His loving arms. So.
Yeah, I mean, His number one go-to is compassion.
Absolutely.
That's just who He is. I mean, He explains Himself that way, and it's honestly, it's kind of what Christmas is about. I mean, the story itself is not, hey, we were doing pretty good as a human race. He thought He'd send Jesus to level us up. It was hey, when we were literally completely helpless and in need of a rescue, right? I mean, that's when Jesus, God sent Jesus at just the right time to provide that rescue, when there was nothing about us that was attractive or impressive, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so I have to ask you this because I got 4 minutes before I get, because Julie is running lights today.
Yep.
And I saw Rick earlier in the chat, really watching to make sure, hey, I can't keep Julie past 20 after the hour. So let me ask you this: as a teacher, okay, Charles is here. I got 2 boys, so I got kids in grade school, and I'm curious about this. Yes. You got teachers. You want to do something for them for Christmas, a little acknowledgement, hey, we appreciate you. Thanks for loving our kids. And my default, I was gonna just buy them an apple. and like send the kids with an apple to school? You told me earlier that's not really what to do.
Yeah, no.
So do you got any tips, like anything a little creative or like special? It doesn't have like a little gesture for our teachers that we all have in our lives right now.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that definitely depends on like the individual teacher. So for example, again, please don't give me an apple. Unless you give me permission to throw it at your kid, then bring me all the apples in the world.
Perfect.
No, but like if your teacher loves coffee, which like 90% of teachers like coffee, see if you can get your kid to figure out what their favorite coffee place is.
Okay.
Or I mean, Plus Coffee is always a great option.
Yeah. Good call.
Get them a gift card there. Or just like a really sweet, like heartfelt note or card. Like one where maybe like, yeah, the kid can sign it, but like if there's just like you really want to show your appreciation, like words can mean a lot to a teacher because, you know, we all have our bad days or days when the kids are just wound up and it's just like sit still for like 2 minutes and everything's going to go great. But yeah, and then really just honestly, as a teacher, we just appreciate parents being like, hey man, you're doing a good job. Like, thank you so much for what you're doing for my kids. And that always means a lot.
Have you ever had, like, you as a teacher, like a thoughtful gift that stands out?
So what was actually funny is when I was teaching middle school, I had this one class that was super squirrely. And it was getting towards Christmas, and like I had noticed them passing a note around. I'm like, really? Can we not? But they're like, no, I just don't. I'm like, okay. I was like, this is kind of, they're being a little bit strange about it. I'll see where this goes. Well, it turns out like a couple of them had realized that they had kind of been like little jerks to me. And so they had wrote. I'm not an English teacher.
They
wrote me a note saying like, hey, we're so sorry that, you know, a lot of times you might get out of hand or anything, but really appreciate you as a teacher. And then they were passing it around so every student in the class could sign it before they gave it to me. And so that was really sweet and thoughtful. They weren't necessarily good for very much longer after that. Maybe got like 2-3 good days. But
hey, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, it was the thought that counts. Like one student was like, look, like we're a little jerks sometimes, and you know, Miss Holmes is doing her best. So we got to show that appreciation. And so that meant a lot more to me than like chocolates or candy or whatever.
Okay. All right. So those are some good ideas. A little coffee gift card. But Elkie is in the chat, who's been a teacher, middle school teacher for a long time. And she says, this teacher has always appreciated gift cards to Yellow Leaf Coffee. Ha. So there you go.
Yeah. So again, it depends on the teacher. Like me, I am all about Dunkin'. I mean, Plus Coffee is great too. But right. I got to admit, I'm a Dunkin' fan. They also have this sourdough breakfast sandwich. If you've never had it, it's amazing. It's got 2 eggs, bacon, thick slices of sourdough bread.
Oh. And that's how we do product placement, people, right there. It's brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Awesome.
It's so good.
If you guys want to sponsor, I mean, we can, you know, exactly.
All the Dunkin' cards.
Exactly. Okay, I got to let you go. It's that time.
All right,
but I really thank you for being here.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Just as an appreciation to you as a teacher, I got you a breakfast burrito this morning.
Yes, he did. This is not just product placement. He did get me a burrito, which I will definitely enjoy
Eat that with appreciation. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for serving.
Yeah,
we love you a
course.
bunch.
Enjoy the
And look
service,
for her. She's
everyone.
about to go get those lights ready. Here we go.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Julie. Thank you so much. There she goes. Julie, one of our awesome serve team. So if you decide to jump in person and ever say hello to Julie, you'll know she's there. Thanks for that. We love having her. Looking in the chat real quick as we get things ready for our services here. Reset for you real quick. If you're just joining us, my name's Owen. I'm one of the pastors here for Heights Church. This is our Heights Online Weekend Countdown, where we just get to know each other a little bit and set ourselves up for a great morning of worship that's coming up here at 10:30. And we've got a really great message continuing Advent this week. Awesome music as well. So that's all coming in just a few minutes. I've also got my man Charles with me. What's up, Charles?
I can't get this to fit.
Legos are giving him a hard time. It's okay. But Charles, look, let's take a look at what you've been working on so far. We got here. Can you move your? There we go. Check it out. We got some roof on there. So you're doing good, buddy. Right there. It's looking nice. It's looking nice. Charles is with me, and you are with me too. Saying hi to folks in the chat. Just said hello to Elkie. So glad you're here. We got Donnie with us. Wishing Julie good luck with the lights. She works on the lights today. And we got Cindy in the chat as well. We got folks from Tucson. Oh yeah, saying it's 58 already in Tucson today. That's awesome. We got Dennis joining us from Paulden this morning. We love having you as well, Dennis. So good to see you guys. And Elke giving a shout out to Duncan as some good coffee. So all right. So with that, guys, couple things I want to highlight for you first. One thing here is I have a huge favor to ask you, honestly. The favor is we here as a church, we love being with you here online and love bringing you ways to connect online. And so if you would like to see what we're doing here continue and grow, as you know, I've recently jumped in, able to be the Heights Online location pastor here, and I love that. And we are looking for what to do with the online space that would make the most, meaningful impact in your life. And so here's my request, real serious request for you. I'm about to show you a QR code that David's got on the screen here in just a second. And this is basically an opportunity for you to, I need you to go ahead and take a look at this QR code, open it up, and I need you to sign up for the Heights Online email list, okay? So take a look at that for a second, sign up there, because when you do, I got something to show you. We have some, there we go, I got it. We got some Heights swag, all right? Right now, we have a number of sweatshirts, sweatshirts, we got crew neck sweatshirts, we got hoodies. Let's do it like this right there, perfect. They got this awesome Heights Together logo on there. And here you can there's some that are you can buy these sweatshirts. But I also need you to know I got a chance for you to actually win one of these sweatshirts, all right? So, here's how it works. Here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to draw this week 10 winners of sweatshirts. That's right, 10, and they will be shipped to you wherever you are, okay? Got 10 winners from the Heights Online family email kind of update list. So this QR code right here, this QR code is the place to go for it. All right? You can, right here, scan the QR code. It's going to take you right to a quick little form, sign up for our Heights Online email update list, okay? When you do, you're going to be entered be drawn for one of these 10 Heights sweatshirts, the Together sweatshirts. And so not only, and then when you do, I'll also email you a link. You can actually purchase one of these as well. But main thing you need to know is 10 people from today are going to win these sweatshirts. There's 3 different styles. There's others online. Actually, like 6 different styles? 6 different styles. There's hoodies. This is like a crew neck, nice weight to it. There's a lighter weight crew neck. There's, what else is there, David? Like some color choices. There's all the sizes, everything. And as David is reminding me, when we buy one of these sweatshirts, all the proceeds go to support Upside Preschool, the preschool that we launched out in Prescott Valley at Park Collective this year, and that kind of helps. Make it affordable and great for the neighbors there in Prescott Valley. So either way, it's a win. But I'm asking you to go ahead and jump into that email list this week, and then when you do, I'm going to send you one other really important piece that I'm going to ask for you to help us out with. We rarely do this. I rarely ask for you to do really much anything. Usually you're just sitting and enjoying, and that's totally fine, and we love that. But we're in a season where we do need to hear from you to let us know how we can shape the future of Heights Online. So when you sign up for that email update list, I'm also going to send you a quick survey that's going to ask you just a couple questions about what Heights Online means to you, and then how we can improve, what we can do to grow to make it a special space for all of us, for you and for the neighbors. We want Heights Online to be something that's just really meaningful, that moves your life, your walk with Jesus forward, because that's what we're all about here. We want you to help you live that life you're created for in Jesus. So one more time, I'm going to show the QR code here. And so you know how this works, right? You pop out your phone. It's just like you're going to take a picture, okay? So get your camera out on your phone, point it at the screen. And when you do, you're going to see a little link pop up. All right? Just tap that link, and then you're in. It's just asks for like your name, your email address, and that gets you into our drawing this week for one of 10 awesome Heights Together sweatshirts. I will reach back out to you if you're a winner. I'll get your size that you want. I'll get your address. I'll get all your things. All right? And when you do that, that'll be the place to enter. I will also drop the link into the chat here in just a minute. So you don't take a picture of the QR code with your phones, like I see some of you said. You just hold the camera for your phone up and let it scan that QR code for 1 second, okay? All right, so with that, my friends, it's time for us to jump inside. I'll give you another chance to check out and scan that QR code at the end of our service. We're gonna have bonus conversation with our communicator, who is John today, by the way. In the meantime, get your communion supplies ready. We got communion today, and we're gonna start this thing off with some awesome worship. So turn up that volume, get ready. We're gonna jump into H1 and get started with worship. It's coming up next. Love having you with us, so glad you're here.
Dad, one thing you do not know is how hard you try to get this thing on.
Yeah.
It's just been like this.
Good morning, Heights family. How are we doing this morning? Merry Christmas and welcome to our online family. So glad you guys could join us today. My name is Kaylee and this is Zach. And it is Christmas season and we're going to start off today with some Christmas songs. But with that, I just want to encourage us today that this is not an us and you thing, right? We're all worshiping one God. We're all worshiping together, right? And so these songs, although they're Christmas songs, and a lot of times we just stand and watch or stand and reflect, they are worship songs too. And they remind us of why we celebrate this season. So if you would you stand to your feet, and with one voice, we're going to lift up these songs and worship together. We sing, "O come, all ye faithful." O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him. we still sing these songs and tell the story of Jesus' birth even after 2,000 years. But it's not just a story, right? We believe this to be true. This is the whole reason we're here. Because our Savior was born in human form. For us, for each of us, God gave his Son in such a humble way. And that's what this season is about. It's not about all the stuff we can get wrapped up in, right? The family drama, the parties, the lights, the presents. But it's about Jesus. If all we had was Jesus, then it would still be Christmas, right? So I love that we still tell this story. We still sing these songs from so long ago. And I love the chorus in that song. It says, we'll praise your name forever. So if we could, we're just going to pause and we're going to sing those words again together. We're going to lift up one voice and sing this. We'll praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. Christ the Lord. We'll praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. We'll praise your name forever. Christ the Lord. Christ the Lord. soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices for yonder grace. A new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Truly taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel is peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy and grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise His holy name. Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise His name forever. His power and glory, the more proclaim His power and glory, the more proclaim Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise His name forever. His power and His power and glory, the more proclaim. Church, we're going to continue to sing and to celebrate that He is the King of Kings. Let's sing this. In the darkness, we were waiting without hope, without light, till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your eyes to fulfill the law and prophets. To a virgin came the word from a throne of endless glory to a cradle in the dirt. We sing praise the Father. Praise the Father. Praise the Son. Praise the Spirit. Three in one. God of glory, majesty. Praise forever to the King of Kings. To reveal the kingdom coming and to reconcile the lost, to redeem the whole creation. You did not despise the cross, for even in your suffering you saw to the other side, knowing this was our salvation. Jesus, for our sake you died. Oh, we praise you. Praise the Father. Praise the Son. Praise the Spirit. Three in one. God of glory, majesty. Praise forever to the King of Kings. In the morning that you rose, all of heaven held its breath, till the stone was moved for good, for the Lamb that conquered death. In the dead place from their tombs, and the angels stood in awe, for the souls of all who come to the Father are restored. In the church of Christ was born, and the Spirit lit the flame. Now this gospel truth of all shall not kneel, shall not fade. By His blood and in His name, in His freedom I am free. For the love of Jesus Christ, who has resurrected me. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Praise forever to the King of Kings. Amen. Can we celebrate that today, church? We have a reason to celebrate this season because of Jesus. God, thank you so much for that beautiful gift that you gave us so many years ago. God, a gift that keeps on giving. God, you have provided everything that we need, not just in this season, God, but in every season. And I love that we're still telling your story. God, that we're still singing your praises. God, because you are so consistent. Lord, may we be reminded of your faithfulness today. God, thank you for your love, your peace, your hope, your joy, all these things you've given us so that we can be content no matter what the circumstance is. God, would we be reminded of what this season means? God, as we walk out these doors today, would we carry that with us to every person, every conversation, every situation that we're in, God? Would you be there in the middle of it? Lord, we love you so much, and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Yes, Lord, thank you very much for all you've done. You guys go ahead and have a seat. Have a seat. Well, good morning. My name is Kyle. I'm one of the pastors here on staff. I'm actually over the guest services team here. So if you got a lovely greeting this morning, that's one of my crew. So guys, it's just good to be here, yeah? It's good to be here in the house of the Lord, and you're all looking really good. You're looking really good. Got Christmas season coming up, feeling good about that. Guys, we're going to start things a little bit differently this morning. We're actually going to get it going with some celebrations. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been celebrating Advent as a church family. We've done a few different things for our community, and I just want to take a quick pause and just remember those things. So a couple weeks ago, we had a veterans dinner here, actually in this room. We had several hundred of our local community veterans come together. We just appreciated, we loved them. And last week, we did a give and take food drive. And we partnered with not only us, but a couple of local food shelters, and actually our online team was even a part of that. And I've got a fun little story I want to share with you. So I was over in PV a couple days ago, and the director of the Prescott Valley Food Bank, she comes in and she's there to collect the food, and we hand her a couple of bags, and she's like, well, like, thanks, appreciate that. And she walks off with her 2 little bags thinking she's going to get more, you know? And I go, oh, no, we're just joking. We've actually got more. If you go look in that room, and she turns the corner and just her jaw hits the ground. She's like, oh my gosh, there was a ton, literally tons of food in there. And that is all out of your generosity. That is the church that we are a part of. Amen, because God is on a mission and we are just doing our best to work towards his kingdom, yeah? Up on the screen, there's a few different ways that you could be a part of that generosity. Know that if you're here and you're a part of Heights Church and you call Heights Church home, and this is your family, this is just a way for you to step into that generosity. If you're just visiting us for the first time and you're not quite ready to make that decision, please don't. This isn't for you. Don't feel pressured. We just want you to enjoy this morning and have your soul filled. But we're going to continue the Advent season, and this week we're going to be picking up, we're going to be loving on our first responders. We're going to be loving our first responders, and we're going to do something a little unique. You know what? Hold on. I love the applause, but we're going to save that. Do me a favor. If you are a police officer, a firefighter, an EMT, a paramedic, or somebody whose career demands that you be a part of like a first responder in a dangerous situation, would you guys please just stand for me? We just want to honor you. We want to appreciate you. We want to celebrate you. Now let's give it up, guys. Let's give it up. Amen. Amen. Woo. So this week, some of our life groups here at Heights Church got together, and they're going to be delivering some meals to. We have 16 different fire stations and 3 different police stations that we're going to be delivering that to. But for you in this room, if you aren't a part of that, your step in this week is for those people that just stood up, be praying for them. Be praying for them. No, just let them know that we love them. We appreciate what they do, the sacrifice that they make. So please join us in that. Now, you've probably noticed this amazingly awesome and beautiful sweatshirt that I'm wearing. I got a few people wearing them right now. I got some grape juice on mine a little earlier. But if you want to get one of these sweatshirts, you can go to heightschurch.com. There's all kinds of different options. We've got hoodies, and I think there's like 6 or 7 different colors. Or you can step out into the lobby on your way out today and purchase one, and I promise there won't be any grape juice on there. But John's going to be starting the next week in Advent, and he's going to be sharing on hope. So if you guys would, give a big, warm welcome to Pastor John.
Well, welcome in all locations. So Prescott Valley, that's you. Give yourselves a hand. Paulden, that's you. Give yourselves a hand. And those of you that are on the online family at the live gathering, would you do me a favor? Would you give yourselves some emojis? So make sure you're there. So Prescott, welcome. Super glad that we get to do this together. As you heard Kyle talking about, we do have sweatshirts. And you may be going, why? What are we doing? And they're very intentional. I need you to catch that the wording on it is together. I don't know if you got this or not, but man, like God designed us to walk alongside each other. That the way humanity is created, we need one another. No one was meant to live isolated and alone. And we have a phrase around here we use often, better together. And if you remember last year, we had black hoodies, and that was really our first attempt going, man, is this even a thing? Does our church family even care about this kind of stuff? And we did black hoodies with 4 people on it. 4 people is one of the values we have as a church. And I see one right here. Look at that. You got your 4 people on right here, right now. We can clap for that. Let's go. But here's the thing. So 4 people is a value of the church. It's one of the things that anchors us, that God is for all people. He's been on mission to all people, and so we will do the same. We will give everything we have for people. And so when it comes to together is one of our values as well, that we're on mission together, that what we're designed to do is we're designed to do this together. And so in January, we're going to launch a 3-week series that talks specifically about this idea of being together. Who are we? Where are we going? What are we about? We've got a lot of new family members in the last 2 years. And so it's just a moment for us to all anchor in together. And so the sweatshirt carries meaning beyond just today and you. It carries meaning into January for us. Carries meaning as a church, one of our values. But it also does something else I need you to know about. The reason in having sweatshirts and kind of the heart behind it is that every sweatshirt that's sold, anything that is profit on top of that is going to our Upside Preschool at Park Collective, specifically to scholarships for kids and families that just need some help to get their kids in. And so my encouragement to you is it's Christmas. You're going to buy a sweater anyways. Get yourself a sweater and do some good, it's beautiful. We get to lean into families, and here's what we know within the preschool. We didn't start a preschool just because we were like, hey, we should start a preschool, right? We know that families will go to a preschool, they'll never step into church, and it's a chance to love families and have them encounter Jesus in a fresh way. And so scholarships are important for that, and you can be a part of that. I need you to know something about next week. You ready? It's Ugly Sweater Sunday, weekend, Saturday, Sunday. It's a family ugly sweater day. And so here's the thing, you gotta come in an ugly sweater or else it's not a family ugly sweater day, okay? So you need to get yourself an ugly sweater. Some of you know exactly which sweater you're going to because you've been waiting all year for that news. So next week, and here's the thing, we're talking about joy next week. And the idea behind joy is just that there would be moments where you're just uplifted. Where you get to catch a glimpse of something. And so ugly sweaters are part of that. We're just gonna laugh together and do some other fun stuff together. So that's next week. Make sure you have your ugly sweater. This week, if you were here last week, we're in an Advent series, but if you were here last week, you got to hear 3 different communicators all talking about peace. Anybody who was here last week, how'd they do? Okay. Here's what I want to tell you. I want to say thank you for being a church that allows us to just try stuff, right? Thank you for I love that our family is a space where we get to just do some stuff that church doesn't have to be this specific, it's going to be this, then it's going to be this, and then it's going to be, we're free to try different things, and I love that because I believe that we have the most creative God on the planet, and some of what we do is there should be freedom to just try stuff. But here's the heart, that you got to hear 3 different versions or angles at this thing called peace from 3 different voices. And it's just beautiful. And then on top of that, I don't know if you knew this, but Pastor Ben, that was the first time he'd given a message on a weekend like that. And he was like, yeah, we can cheer for Pastor Ben. Prescott Valley, you should especially be cheering for Pastor Ben right now. But here's the beauty of it, right? That Pastor Ben, after he's done, he's like, man, I'm just glad it wasn't 30. I'm glad I got to start with 10. And I'm like, man, I'm glad I have 30 because I've already spent 10 minutes on my intro. So there we go. Just amazing that we get to do stuff. We are in Advent. And specifically, if you've been with us, you know that the Advent, the way it works, it's part of the church calendar, but specifically, it's designed for us to slow down and focus on the arrival of somebody. That's what Advent is, right? The coming, the arrival of that person. right? There's anticipation. Now, obviously, we look back. Jesus arrived, and we sang about this morning, that Jesus arrived. And by the way, worship this morning, if you came in maybe a little head down, I hope your head's lifted. Was that not phenomenal? We have such an amazing gift and team and talents, and just grateful for all of them and the time that they put in. But if within this thing of Advent, we're anticipating the arrival of, and we're looking back, why? So we can anchor into our Christmas day, that we can anticipate on Christmas day, that our hearts are ready for that day. But we're also anticipating the arrival of Jesus. He's coming back. You know that, right? Jesus is coming back. And so what happens every year is Christmas is this moment we slow down and we're reminded, yes, he came the first time, which he told us that he would. The second time when he comes back, we are now pointing forward to this arrival of Jesus that is coming. Right? That's part of our story. It's part of who we are. And Christmas Day is this moment that you and your family, that's what should be on the front of our minds as we head into Christmas. But here's the thing. Christmas can get awful cluttered, right? I don't know if this is your style of decoration. If it is, I'm sorry. I'm going to offend you, but this just feels really cluttered. It feels like too much. It feels busy. But it's intentional because in this season, if there's any season of our calendar that can feel busy and cluttered, it's Christmas. As some of you have jobs where you don't have the choice, Christmas just means you work more hours. You're whatever line of business you're in, it gets a little more hectic and you have to put in more hours. For others, you are, oh man, they're doing the courthouse lighting and then they're doing acronite and then they got this and I got to be at all of it, and as well as all my friends' stuff. And your calendar just gets really full really quick. Others, you've had packages arriving from Amazon for days, if not weeks. And you sent half of it back because it got there and you're like, it's not perfect. It's got to be perfect for this person, right? And you're stressed out over the gift you're going to give. For others in this season, it could be family. Families showing up, and it could even be emotionally just a tough time going. You're reminded of maybe somebody who's not there, and so the season can get cluttered with emotions, or you have that family member that's coming that you're like, I'm not so excited they're coming, but I get to love them anyways. And that can be stressful and create emotional anxiety as well. And so what we're trying to do in this Advent season is declutter all of that. Can we begin to remove some of the layers so that we make sure that when it comes to love and peace and hope and joy, that what we're actually doing is we're getting to the core of what those things are. We're getting to the root of what it means. Like this week, we're going to talk about hope. What does it mean when we get down to the root of what hope is? Because here's kind of what the grounds we're stepping out on is hope involves two things. It involves an expectation that you have, and it involves a confidence that you put it into. Okay, so I have this expectation, but there's also this underlying foundation that I put my confidence on for the expectation I have. For example, this time of year, there's a song or a movie that if you are like my family, we watch this movie every year. Anybody watch Elf? Right? Yeah, you just got to. You just got to. Normally for my family, it's when the tree's going up. But the thing with Elf is there's a point when they are at the end of the movie and the sleigh won't fly and they just need a little more Christmas spirit. And they begin to sing a song. You better watch out. You better not. Wow, you guys are all right. A third of you, the rest of you got some catching up to do. You better not pout. Okay, 50% are telling you why. This is just working. We're getting there. We'll ramp the rest up in a minute. Why? Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're... Okay, that's weird. He knows when you're awake, right? That's a stalker. Just saying. So be what? Good for... What? I like your enthusiasm, by the way. You realize what we just did, right? We taught generations. If you are naughty, Santa's bringing you nothing. Coal. Maybe if you grew up in England, you got coal. So, right? But if you're nice, you get what you want. So the way this works, right? The way that we ingrain ourselves is we have a hope. The hope is that I get the gift that I want. And as a kid, right, you're sitting there and you're like, I got to be nice, because if I'm nice, then I get what I want. What I've done is place my hope, right? I've got this expectation of getting what I want, and I place my confidence in my actions to get what I want. Now, that's one thing when you do it with Santa. That's another thing when you do it with your faith. And so what I want to talk about, I'll be real honest with you. I had no intention of going to this passage. And then last Sunday, my wife and I got stuck on I-10 for 2.5 hours, dead stop. And in 2.5 hours, God began to just pour thoughts into my head regarding hope and this passage we're going to look at. I've never seen hope in this passage. And so if you have a Bible, we're in Luke chapter 15. Luke chapter 15. Some of you may be like, hey, didn't we do this one like 3 weeks? Yes, we did. We did. And so I got a favor to ask you, because if you've been around church, something happens when you get familiar with the Bible. You start to check out. And so I'm going to ask you today, like I believe the Lord has something for you. I believe God wants to speak to you. I need you to stay engaged. Okay? I'll do my best. You do your best, and we'll see what God does in the middle, right? But this passage starts in a very specific context. The context is that there's an audience that's there. And the church people are all worked up because Jesus is hanging out with the naughty people, right? Jesus is hanging out with sinners and tax collectors. And the church people are going, Jesus, how can you hang out with the naughty people? You should be with the nice people. We have an expectation on you. Because what they know is for Jesus to sit down at a table, he's essentially saying, these are my friends. I accept this group of people. And so for the church people, they're all worked up. So what we need to remember is there's a specific audience that is listening. And he tells a few stories. The second thing I need you to know is this, that this story was made up by Jesus. He is not referring, as far as we know, to a family. He is making up these details as he is telling this story. Why is that significant? Because the details in this story are shocking. That God would include these details is absolutely stunning. It's extreme. And so as we dive into the story, you just need to know what Jesus is saying is extreme. We're going to read a lot of verses and we'll unravel them all together. In verse 11, it says this, Jesus continued, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all that he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him into his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound. The older brother became angry and refused to go in, so his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, look, All these years I have been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders, yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. My son, the father said, you are always with me and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. Jesus tells a story. And the story begins with a father had two sons. And so instantly, if you were in that initial audience, there's expectations that you have. What kind of father is this? What are these sons about? Where's this story gonna go? And so the original audience, they're leaning in at this point. Now remember, the original story would have had a cultural context around it. And so as we walk through, we're just gonna unpack some of that. We're gonna take it apart as we look at the story. But the father has a choice because the younger son comes to him and he goes, hey, Dad, I wish you were dead because then I'd have my inheritance. So instead of me saying that, I'm just gonna ask you, give me my inheritance. The son is asking the father to break the law. What does that mean? Well, in this culture and in this context, when you got your inheritance, it was because the father decided it was time to bless you because he was about to die. And so he would bless you and give you your inheritance. That was according to the law. To do this would have been preposterous. So for the father, for the request to come, he's asking the father to break the law. The father, in turn, has a choice. What am I going to do? What kind of father? And everybody listening would have gone, ooh, what kind of father is this? The father decides to give him his stuff. The father decides to divide it up. He doesn't talk to the older son. He just decides to give it. And as he's giving it, you can imagine the village around. Hey, did you hear about Frank? No, what happened to Frank? He went to his dad. What'd he do? He asked him for his inheritance. No. Does he know he's still alive? Well, I think so. What did Mike say? Well, Mike, he gave it to him. Hello, just saying, that's not how we roll. That's illegal. He can't do that. Mike can't give him that. What kind of dad doesn't? What Mike should have done, he should have drugged that boy outside and put a whooping on him. But he didn't. He gave him his inheritance. You can imagine the ripples that have gone around the entire area. What kind of father doesn't uphold the law? And he gives his son his inheritance. The son then makes a decision that he is, in the language, it says that he is going to a distant country. Now, what's significant of distant country is he is leaving the father and he is going as far away as possible from where the father is. He is creating as much distance between the two as possible. That's what that language captures. And when he gets there, it says that he squandered. Now, that word squandered is that when he was over here and the father's giving him his inheritance, the father's taking things that are significant to the family. They're significant to the family values. They're heirlooms. They're pieces, keepsakes. They're things that can't be replaced. They're things that have deep meaning to the family. He takes those, and that word squandered is that he takes those pieces and he begins to trade. He begins to barter with who? With people who are not Jewish. He is with outsiders. He's with people that the Jewish people resented and called horrific names. And he is over here handing out family heirlooms to the enemy, so to speak. Why? So that he can get some coin in his pocket, because if he gets coins in his pocket, then he can live the life that he wants to live. And we're told that then he takes those coins and he uses them to live wild living. We don't understand what that is. Later in the story, the older son decides that he's going to give a little rumors that have happened about what the son was doing. But he uses his money, and it says that while he's in this distant country and he squanders the wealth, he ends up using everything, and then a famine hits. And it's when the famine hits that now this boy has a realization. His realization is, I'm going to starve to death if I don't figure something out. The language that we're given is that he goes and he hires himself out. Where is he? He's in a distant country. These aren't his people. These are the people that his people dislike. That word hired is that he glues his life, he cements his life to a Gentile, which was unthinkable. So what is happening in this story is Jesus is letting us know this kid is going to the most extreme that he can to reject his heritage, reject his identity. And over here now he is cementing himself, gluing himself, which the way he went about that is he just started pleading. Would you please, please, please let me stay with you? Let me stay with you, kid. Just put me to work. I'll do anything. And the Gentile's going, I don't want you. I guess you can go out with the pigs. What's significant about that is he goes out to the pigs. This is another rejection of who he was. No good Jewish boy, only naughty Jewish boys would put themselves around pigs. Jesus wants us to understand how bad this individual is. Jesus wants us to understand that original audience, remember the church people that are listening? They're going, ooh, he's a bad son. This guy's really bad. Santa definitely ain't giving him nothing. That original crowd is listening on going, he has rejected everybody and everything that made him who he was. And after feeding the pigs, he begins to look at the pods. And we don't know if he ate some or not. It could be that he ate some and got sick. But it's somewhere in that process of seeing those pods that he begins to remember something. Hey, man, my dad's house, even slaves are treated better than this. And he begins to, as he's making his way back, he begins to go, okay, I'm going to go to my dad's house. And when I get there, I'm going to give him this speech. And part of his speech is, Dad, I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Just make me a slave. And as he's on his way back, what glimpse we get of the father is this. Remember, his father's a lawbreaker. He breaks another law, right? Because Jewish men didn't run. It's an embarrassment. But he's got his robe. He hikes up that robe and he sees that boy coming because he's been looking for him. And it says that he feels it in his guts. And he hikes up that robe and he begins to full on sprint at the boy. Now, the village people watching, they're doing the YMCA at this point, right? Like the village people that are there, they're looking on at this and they're going, ooh, it's about to get good. Dad is about to give that boy what he should have given him a long time ago. He's going to drop kick him. And the dad runs and he grabs the son and hugs him as tight as he can. And he begins to kiss his neck. And the boy's like, hey, Dad, because he's hugging him so tight. Dad, I just want you to know I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy. And the dad's like, sorry, son, you saying something? Hey, servants, get this boy the best robe. Can we just pause for a sec? The best robe, the boy had taken everything he owned with him and lost it. Whose is the best robe? The father's. Take my best robe and put it on him. Hey, get a ring. Make sure he's got a ring on his finger. You know why? Because in that culture, in that currency, your ring is how you purchased things. It's essentially saying, give him the best credit card that we have. You can imagine the servants going, wait, you're talking about the kid that just squandered everything you have, right? Yeah, give him a credit card. Oh, then don't let those feet go bare. You know why? Because those feet, if they're bare, he looks like a slave and a servant. This boy is a son, put sandals on his feet. And then he goes, you know what? You remember that? Remember that calf we have? The one that has been grass-fed only? You know, the one that's in open land? The best one we've got, we're going to have filet mignon tonight. Oh, you know that DJ? Yeah, the one that really thumps? Get that guy. And then get everybody from the village and make sure they come and celebrate at the father's house. And so, I mean, you can imagine the village people, when they show up, they're like, this is the weirdest party I've ever been to. Why are we dancing? I don't know. Kind of just waiting to see what the father does to the son. I think he might kill him tonight. Why are we eating flaming? I don't know. But I'm going to get another piece. It's outrageous. But it's from God himself, he creates the extreme story. It's like he's trying to get us to get something. And then, as that's going on, meanwhile, and by the way, anybody ever worked a really hard day at work? I mean, you just put yourself to that. You gave everything you had. And maybe it's outside. I used to landscape years ago. Man, those days when you come home from landscaping, you are tired. And this son's coming in from a day in the field. He's tired. And as he gets close to the house, he starts to hear, and there's laughter, and there's partying going on, and there's people all around. And his question as he comes up, he goes, what's going on? Why? And one of the servants says, well, it's your brother. But you see what's caught up in that question, right? What's going on? I love, there's another preacher that made this point, it's not mine. But he made a connection to the church at this moment. A lot of church people are like, wait, what are we doing at church? Who showed up? Why are they there? Oh, if they only knew. When he asks what's going on, the answer is in the Father's house, AKA church. In the Father's house, we're celebrating really bad people that have been forgiven by the Father and given a new standing as sons. So we had to celebrate. And in this moment, the older son, he becomes angry. And you get a glimpse into what's driving him. He goes, all these years, which even better, before he says that, he goes, look. Any of you got kids that told you to look? It's like, I'll tell you, look, right? Look, I've been slaving for you all these years and you never even gave me the skinny goat so I could have a party with just my friends. You know what the Father's doing when he gathers all those people around filet mignon? He's reconciling the kid to the entire community. He's making right all the wrongs. And now, here's the older son going, look, you never even gave me the skinny goat. And the father says something so profound. He says, you have always been with me. And all that I have is yours. Why? Because you're a son. I birthed you. And this is by birth that you have a standing. Now, some of you are like, oh, this is good. What does this have to do with hope? That's what I thought. So I was sitting on I-10. And God just started to pull out these moments of hope inside of this story. See, when the younger son leaves, he's hopeful. He's got hope. You know what his hope's in? I'm gonna get the life that I want, the freedom that I want. I'm gonna be able to do whatever I want. But you see, that's his expectation. Underneath that is what he put his confidence in. If I get far enough away from those people and I get all the way over here, I'm gonna get the life that I want. You ever run away from something just to find that you're there? Right? You run as far away as you can. It costs you an awful lot of money, and then you get there and you're like, why is it the same problems? Well, you showed up. Right? And he's hoping by changing location, it will get better. He's hoping with the freedom that he has to make the choices that he wants, said every college kid ever, right? If I just make my choices. And he realizes that the confidence in the freedom and the confidence in the coin in his pocket, the confidence in all these things that he built his hope upon, turned out to be hollow. And so now he's left in a hopeless situation where he's like, I just need to survive. So what does he do to survive? He puts his hope where? Into the farmer that's a Gentile. That maybe if I put my confidence in him, he'll just treat me, to find out that he doesn't. And it's in that moment of hopelessness that his mind goes back to, wait a minute, my Father's character. I know he's a good man. How do I know that? I've seen how he treats the servants in our house. I know my Father's character enough that if I just go back, he gets hopeful again. That if I just go back, what is his hope? That I can be a servant, I can be a slave in the Father's house. I know I've messed up. I know I'm bad. I know I'm in the naughty club. Like, I just know, if I get back. His hope is built on the Father's character. But Father goes one better. Because what does the Father do? He reminds him of who he's always been. How does he do it? Put a robe on that boy. Make sure it's mine and covers him completely. You know what? Give him the credit card. And make sure there's some sandals on those feet. Why? Because he's a son by birth. What does the boy come back doing? He's going, Dad, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. And the Father goes, I don't care, because you were never worthy. You're a son because I gave birth to you. And that's what makes you a son. Not anything you've ever done or will do. There's also the other character, and he's hopeful. What is he hopeful in? If I just work hard enough, if I just do all the right things, if I just do all the right steps, then my life's gonna work out how I want. He's playing the long game, by the way. If I just stay here and do good, then sooner or later, somebody's gonna die, hopefully the Father, and I'll get what I want. He's hopeful in his own effort. And what does the Father do with him? Son, you've always been with me. Why have you always been with me? Because I gave birth to you. And everything I have is yours because you're a son. There's nothing to earn. You're a son. But see, for both of them, they've got this hope, but their confidence is in something that couldn't sustain it until they show up and the Father goes. And by the way, if you haven't made the connection yet, the Father in the story is God himself. And it's how he treats every human alive. Hope is built. Part of hope is expectation and it's confidence. Is your hope in something that can sustain it today? When we strip hope away, man, let's just make it practical. If you are hoping for healing, what do we often do? We go to a doctor, right? So my hope is that I get healing, but my confidence is in a doctor. Can I help you today? There is only one healer on the entire planet, and his name is God. And sometimes God uses doctors. Sometimes he just touches your life and you're healed in a moment. But God is the healer. Don't make a mistake that when you want healing and your hope is in healing, don't place your hope in doctors. Place them in the one that puts your body together, knows you better than you know yourself. We do it with things like the World Cup. We put our hope in the wrong team and they disappoint us because they can't sustain the weight of your hope. But we also do it with, man, I hope for change on our planet. I hope for change in our nation. And then guess what we do? We put all of our confidence into a political party. Can I tell you that the only person that can change the hearts of men and women is God himself. And so let's not be fooled by putting our hope in something that can't sustain it. When it comes to your health and you put your hope in a diet, nothing wrong with diets, but the person who numbers the hairs on your head and knows the days of your life is God, not a diet. When you are longing and hoping for love, don't put your hope in a person. Put it in the person of God. I don't know about you, but there's not a person on this planet that hasn't disappointed me in some way in my life. Why? Because they were never meant to sustain the hope and the weight of hope. It's beautiful. The story tells us over and over that you are sons and you are daughters. How? Oh, not by anything you did. You know what that means? Christmas morning, your hope's in God, you just relax. All the expectations, all the weight of trying to manipulate to make things work, no, I don't have to. Because I'm a son and I'm a daughter. And that's enough. And for you today, the way we get there is by birth. What does birth look like? It looks like when you put your trust in Jesus and you trust that he died and you died with him. And when you were raised, as Romans talks about, you're raised to new life. What is new life? It's new birth. You're not the same. You'll never be the same. And for all of eternity, guess what's true of you? You'll always be with me, and everything I have is yours. There's nothing left to earn. So whatever you're doing to try to earn, there's nothing left to earn. I hate to tell you, you're gonna be weary like the boy coming in from the field. One of my favorite verses, it's in a different translation. It talks about, are you worn out? Are you tired? Are you burned out on religion? And the next part says, well, come to me and I will give you rest. Where's your hope today? Where's your hope? What's your confidence in for the expectation that you have? Because it's real simple. We can strip it way back and take ourselves. You should receive one of these on the way in, but we can take ourselves to the cross. When we get to the cross, we realize that everything we want in life is found in the sacrifice of Jesus that makes us new and changes us completely. I don't know who this is for, but you just need to hear it today. God is for you. God is not against you. And he proved it when he went to the cross for you. I don't know what mind games are playing on your heart today. I don't know what you think you've done that's so bad, but I do know this, that in this story that Jesus came up with all by himself, that son, the first son, could not have got further away from God if he tried. And the Father ran to him to kiss him. Maybe you just need to see the Father running to you. And the cross is proof that he did in the person of Jesus. So here's the thing with hope. You want to know what you hope in? Look at your actions. Look at your actions. Your actions will lead you to where your confidence is. And today's about recentering on hope. So the next moments are yours to just sit with God and, God, where's my hope today? And remind me of the cross that makes me new. So the next moments are yours and we'll take it together. I love that Jesus, before he went to the cross, got in a room with his friends and he reminded them, you are my friends. that he took something tangible like bread. And what he connected to bread in that moment was that there is a God who loves you so much that he would show up, that he would become one of you for all of eternity. He took on human form. When we talk about Christmas and we talk about God becoming human, he took it on for all of eternity for you. And Jesus is reminding them of the story. He's reminding them that he showed up physically for them. He's reminding them of that moment in Luke chapter 2 where she gave birth to her firstborn son, and she wrapped him in cloths, and she placed him in a manger. And here is that baby now grown into a man, and he takes bread and he goes, remind yourselves of who you are. Remind yourselves of what I have done. Remind yourselves that new life comes through me. And so he took bread and he gave it to them. He said, take, eat. He took a cup of wine, believed to be the third cup which was left untouched at a meal. And he took the cup of wine and he was reminding them again that your new life came through the blood of Jesus and the sacrifice of Jesus, and that alone. That through his blood you would have new birth. That you could sit here in this day and go, hey, I'm a son and I'm a daughter because of what I hold, what this represents in my hand. And so he took the cup and he gave it to them. He said, take, drink, do this in remembrance of me. God, we're so grateful this morning. Thank you for being a God who, when we were at our worst, when we were hopeless and we were lost, God, you showed up for us. You stepped in for us. You took our punishment upon you. Thank you this morning. Thank you that when it seemed like there was no way, God, you were the one that, even though we didn't know how badly we needed it, you did. Thank you for being one that stepped in when we couldn't see it. And you've always been working. You've always been looking. You've always been moving towards us. Thank you for making a way today that we can be sons and we can be daughters. We're so grateful for the hope that we have this Christmas. We're so grateful for the reminder that, God, you can sustain our expectations because you are loving and you are kind and you are good and you are strong and you are mighty. So, God, thank you for bearing the scars of our punishment that we may bear your scars of life today. We're grateful people, and everybody said, amen.
Come on, church, let's stand and sing together. Let's thank the Lord that he always moves towards us. You are here. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here. You're working in this place. And I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, Thank you, Lord, that this is who you are. That shame, guilt has no place here because of who you are. We sing this even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop. Come on, do you believe that this morning? Sing it loud. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are the waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are, and that is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are, and that is who you are. That is who you are. Yes, that is who you are, my God. That is who you are.
Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Last week, we talked about peace. Next week, we're going to talk about joy, both of those given to you by our Father. Pastor John just shared about how that, when brought together and you trust in him, gives you that kind of hope that we can find in Luke 15:32, where you were once lost, but now you're found. So join us next week as we finish off this portion of the sermon series. Just a quick update, guys. We have Christmas here coming up. I don't know if you know, but we've kind of got a big celebration coming up on December 23rd and 24th at 2, 4, and 6 p.m. We're going to be having gatherings here, but to do that, we need your help. We need your help. You can go to heightschurch.com and just scroll down a little bit, and right there's a place where you can click and join a surf team. We would love to get you to be a part of the big event that we have here. If you came in today with just a weight, if you came in today with something that you just need to give before God, we invite you to come up front after service. We're going to have a team. They're wearing yellow lanyards. They'd love to just slow down and pray with you. Guys, we're just super grateful that you were here. Want to give a quick shout out to online community. Thank you for joining us today. If you just want to hang out a little bit longer, Pastor John and Pastor Owen will be around to kind of break down today's message and give you some bonus content. But guys, for everybody else, you have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Hey, my friend, welcome back in once again as we wrap up today. Awesome day with us here as we continue to celebrate Advent. We're wrapping things up here. If you would like to jump in here in our last bit of conversation, we're going to have John with us here in a minute talking about today's message on hope. So you are more than welcome to go ahead and jump in, drop your questions or comments in the chat. In fact, here he is right now.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Welcome in. Welcome in. We are.
What is this thing?
Dude, so this has been our, a little
Sorry,
Lego project.
I totally derailed your whole intro.
You're totally good. It's a little Lego project we got going on here.
That's
Charles
amazing.
and Billy. So it's like a little fun little.
Yes.
We're kind of talking about,
You got the stockings?
got the stockings in there. You got this little bedroom up there. You got little, there's a little,
Dude, that's awesome.
little Christmas tree that
Is
goes
he
in
not having
there.
the best time? Did you have matching flannels, by the way?
It just happened that way. We both just have really good taste in flannel. We're
Whoa,
trying to
look at
color
the
coordinate.
front.
So it's got like little.
That's awesome.
In fact, next week there's a little lighting kit that goes with this. There you go.
That's
So,
so cool.
you guys will see it.
So
So
cool.
Charles has been sitting here with us, like just building this thing while we chat. It's been fun.
That's awesome.
It reminds me of just like my house, like very perfect. manicured Christmas.
Mine too.
Just like,
Mine too.
In fact, okay, I have a great story about my neighbor yesterday. But first, really quick, though, before we jump into this conversation, I got two things for you real quick. First one is, like I was telling you up at the top, I got a request for you. So we are here online. We love being with you. And as you know, I think this last couple weeks ago, I've been able to jump in and dedicate full energy to Heights Online. And that means we got some really great things coming, which we love. But I got to tell you, I need to hear from you. I almost never ask you to do anything other than just join in the chat. But today I've got a special request for you. I need to hear from you. I need to know what you'd like for online to become, how we can serve you, how we can help you, how we can grow it to be something that is an essential part of your walk with Jesus. That's what we want to do. We want to do much more than just in this space. I got some ideas, but they might be crazy ideas. I'd love to hear your ideas. So to do that, I'm encouraging you to sign up for our online family update list. And when you do, I'm going to pick 10 people from that list.
Hey.
You be getting a free Heights Together sweatshirt of your choice. So everybody that's on my list for updates, I'm picking 10 at random. You could be one of those people. And so to do that, all you got to do, there's a QR code you are about to see. Here it is right here on your screen, okay? And it's like, remember how we do QR codes? You open up your phone. Don't take a picture, but open up your camera app just like you would take a picture, right? And then you point it right here at the QR code, okay? And when you do that, you're going to see a little link pop up. That link will take you to our online family update list. Give me your info, jump into the list, and like I said, I'm going to pick 10 people, and what I'm going to do is I'll email you and be like, hey, you're one of the winners. And look, John's going to do it right now. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Let's see if John can pull. Let's see. Here we go. Look. Open up your camera app. Don't take a picture. Point it out. See that little link? Tap. Boom. Hold on. It's going to take you right there to the Heights family email update list. Boom. You're on the list. You got a chance to win one of these T-shirts. I'm also going to send you.
Sign in under a false name.
Okay.
I'm going to do a false name.
Join the list and see what happens right now. All right. And then when you do that, so here's where this all connects. I am going to send you a quick survey. It's a little questionnaire of just like, hey, what does Heights Online mean to you? And then ask for some ideas on what we could do to make Heights Online even better, more meaningful for you and our neighbors, okay? So like I said, I really do need to hear from you, because if I don't hear from you, it's going to be just me and John's ideas, and we got some crazy ideas.
Yeah,
we like
that gets a little out of control.
Yeah, we need to hear from normal people like you, okay? So please do that, and that gives us a chance to interact and connect too, okay? So with that, commercial over, and thank
Our
you very
ideas
much
get us
for
in
that.
trouble. You ever notice that?
We have had nothing but crazy ideas, which are good. I'm going to pop that QR code up at the end in just a minute, just in case you missed it. But first, looking in the chat, John, people responding to this message of hope. We had, in fact, here's Rick who jumped in and just said, thanks to the Lord for using Heights.
Hey, Rick.
Lifting up my heart that has been deep in sorrow over the loss of my dear wife and best friend, Kat. So he's just
Rick's
there.
amazing.
Love you, Rick.
Love you, Rick.
We got Bill saying, wonderful, moving message from Pastor John today. Bless him and all of you.
Man.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Bill.
And then we got Michelle asking for prayer in the chat. Peggy's got you. We also had, there's another comment here. I just want to find it. See if I can find it. From our friend Linda as well, just talking about how she had run into you in town at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And just wanted to give an update on, here she is, Linda. She says, thanks, Pastor. I needed to hear this today. I saw you this week at the coffee shop. I was going to stop and ask you to pray for my health, but just praying for her thyroid biopsy to come back next. So she just wanted to send you a shout out too.
Linda, you can stop me anytime and ask me to pray for you.
So, hope, obviously core to, the message of Christ. Literally, this is what Jesus is all about. He's bringing hope. But I love how you framed it up today. And I guess I'm curious, what do you think why is it so hard for me to keep centering my hope on Jesus? It's just that confidence, that expectation, always drifting away to other lesser things. What's wrong? What's wrong with me?
No, it's not you. It's all of us. It's interesting. I was chatting with somebody in between services and just saying, without even knowing it, even just the philosophy of naughty and nice. like my parents never, like they wouldn't let us believe in Santa,
Yeah.
but that philosophy of naughty and nice still carried over.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You sing
Oh, yeah.
songs about it. It's in movies. It's in, and before long, like it just becomes part of your thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the clutter, right? That part of the clutter this time of year is without even recognizing it, I've shifted my expectation, right? Or maybe my expectation stayed the same. I've shifted my confidence. And so it's kind of like subtly without even knowing it. This is like, for example, happiness, right?
Yeah.
And so this time of year, it can become real easy to get bent out of shape sideways because something didn't happen the way I wanted, or, the disappointment of I didn't have family come, or
Yeah.
and it can just knock us sideways. But yeah, I think it's just subtle. I don't think it's I think it's part of being human, and
Yeah. I know I don't
there's no intentionality.
go like, all right, well, you know what? I've been hoping in Jesus,
Right.
but forget that. Now I'm hoping in,
Right.
My wife, or
Right.
for this event to go like that. I mean, it's just we just drift, Just drift
So I
into
went
it.
away. I mentioned it in the service that we were on I-10. So I got to go away last week to a retreat.
Yep.
Just my wife and I. And it was interesting. What God surfaced for me was that I had put on myself this weight of expectation. That every room I walk into, so if I walk into my house, there's a weight as a dad, there's weight as a husband. I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And then I go to work, and it's like, man, there's a weight of being a pastor, and and then there's friendships, and before long, every space of my life has this weight of expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all that does is make me perform to meet expectations of you,
Yeah.
right? Of
Yep.
the next person,
Yeah.
and it was so subtle. Like I didn't even know it existed till this last weekend when I was away, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden I'm going, I didn't even know I had this. Like it was almost like God's gift of exposing this sickness in me of, man, I'm performing to other people's expectations because I don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
you could say it's people pleasing. For me, it was different than people pleasing,
Yeah.
but to just recognize it and go, no, that's not good.
Well, and the instinct to, hey, we don't want to let people down. Like
Right.
this is that's
Right.
not a bad thing.
Right.
But it just
Right.
goes into like,
wanna do a
hey,
good job.
Of course, and who doesn't, right? It's
Right.
like, hey, I don't want to let my
Right.
family down. I don't want to let anybody down. But then there's like it shifts into like that's my identity.
Yep.
It's like, hey,
Yep.
I don't let people, and then the applause, whatever I get from that, the
Yep.
feel good that comes from
Yep.
it, and like, hey, that's how I know I'm okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, which goes back to the hope, the
Yep.
confidence. Like,
Yep.
how do I know I'm okay?
Right.
Is to me a great way to think about the confidence, that
Yep.
hope. It's like,
Yep.
and is it like I'm okay when
Yep.
fill in the blanks? Like when
When you're
me and my
when
wife
you
are on
dancing
good
at the
terms.
party,
And right?
when
Exactly.
you're dancing,
Exactly.
eating some filet mignon.
Exactly. Then I know I'm okay. Right. Yeah.
Can you imagine that kid? I was thinking about this. I didn't have time for it today. Can you imagine what was going through that kid's head? I've done everything I can for this group of people to know I don't like you. I reject you. I want nothing to do with you. And then here he is, bopping away at the party, eating some steak with them.
I love that.
So
That's incredible. That's incredible.
so bad.
So okay, so I don't know. When I heard you talking about hope, one thing that came to mind to me is like, at least for me, how I see it, is it's almost like kind of like hope's like these guardrails that keep me in the middle. Because when there's times, a lot of times when I don't have confidence at all.
Yep.
And so then hope, like I drift into that gutter, right? And then hope bounces me back like, hey, there is a source of confidence. And it's a confidence rooted in who God is and how he loves me and what he has for me, who I'm becoming. And then there's times where I drift into the other side where it's like, man, I got too much confidence in myself or whatever else makes me feel like I'm okay.
Yep.
And then there's God going like, that hope is me.
Yeah.
Like it's not self-generated confidence. It's confidence that comes from me. And it's like I need both sides of that hope to like keep me kind of like driving down the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think we need the guardrails. And I also think like the example of the doctors, for example.
Yeah.
It's not bad to go and get the best of the best medical, but it's such a, like you're saying with the guardrails, it's subtle in how I can start out, man, my trust is fully in God, and God gives you a number to a doctor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then as you enter that journey with the doctor, you begin to get hope from what the doctor's saying.
100%.
And you begin to trust what the doctor's got, and you begin to, and it's not, again, it's back to nothing's intentional with that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, if we're not careful and we don't keep coming back to that back to that hope as a sinner, I've got to recognize when I'm hitting those guardrails of my confidence shifting into something else.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm really good at having hope in God at the point where he's my last go-to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's like,
Oh,
hey.
yeah. Well, it's like the kid, right? He's literally starving to death.
Right.
Oh, man. The father wasn't so bad.
Exactly. Wait, well, yeah, exactly. I'm
Well,
going
I
to turn
could be
around.
a servant, I guess.
Exactly. But then it's like God does come through and gets me out of that spot where I'm like, that's all I like.
Yeah.
So, which the doctor's a great picture of that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, God led me to a good doctor, and then, well, the doctor's got it from here,
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay, God, I needed a job.
Yeah.
God got me the job. I got
Yeah.
it. Thanks,
Yeah.
God. I got it
Yeah.
from here, right?
Yeah.
Versus this like just a continual.
Or was it 2008 when the whole thing crashed? Is
Yeah.
that 2008?
The Great Recession, they
Well,
call
it was
it.
interesting. It was interesting in that time how many people came back to church.
Oh yeah.
But it was because financially we can't make it, right? So then trust and hope in God,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So it's a shift of that foundation. You fast forward 3-4 years, those same people that came back to church are now beginning to wane
yeah.
a little bit. They're, the economy's doing all right.
Right. It's like, we're good.
Right. And then COVID hits.
It's like, whoa.
And it's like a whole bunch of people joining churches online and however else, right?
Yep.
And now as COVID's let up, you begin to see the effects of, like, some people haven't come back to their faith.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not there.
Yeah. And man, the difference in like our walk with Jesus when we don't live in that boom or bust
Right.
mentality with God, where it's like, yeah, lots of hope and then we're good.
Right.
Like if it's just, imagine starting every day with like, hey, my confidence, my hope is in Jesus.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And it just, man, the stabilizing factor
then
of that
there's
is just
there's no wavering, right? You're
or
not given by the waves.
You're not bouncing
Yeah.
here left. Exactly. I mean, like New Testament talk about just the waves.
Yeah.
To get off of the boom and bust,
Yeah.
the waves. It's just like today is a good day because God is my confidence. He's the reason I have hope.
Yeah.
The end. And then whatever comes our way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, some days are not great.
Yep.
Some days are
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
So that's appropriate. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day,
even in the, I mean, if the story ends, but if you played out this, let's say the older son, man, you're right, I've been missing it, whatever.
right.
He's still going to go back and work in the field, and it's going to be tiring and hot, and he's going to be weary.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you still have the field to go back to, so to speak. The younger son may be dancing in this moment, but life is going to be difficult. Life is
Yep.
going to be hard.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it's that's, like you're saying, the stabilizing of, man, I am a son, and that's by birth.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to rest in that and put my hope there.
Yeah. Peggy in the chat puts in, perfect, Peggy, right on cue. She drops a verse, Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace the steadfast of mind because he trusts in you. Perfect. That's it. There's where
Yep.
that peace comes in.
Yep.
What a great thing to export out of Christmas. Like we're in Christmas mode.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, yes, Jesus'
Yeah.
birth, Advent, love it.
Yeah.
We could export that thought into January and
Yep.
beyond. It's like, hey, let's start today
Yep.
with my confidence, my hope. How I know I'm okay
Yep.
is because I'm loved by God.
Yep.
And just start with that. Man, that'd be a game changer.
And what do we do? What do we do with January? I got to work hard. I got to be better.
Exactly. We got to hit the gym. I got my resolution. God's just like, please.
Yeah. If our resolution was that we're just going to wake up every day and go, okay, God, I'm reminding myself who I am and my hope's in you.
I mean, that would actually change your life.
Yeah.
I'm not no joke.
Oh, yeah.
You start every day with that mindset.
Yeah.
It would change your life. Yeah. All right. Looking in the chat here as we wrap things up today, we got Michelle is saying thanks. We got Elke here. She says we get derailed by thinking of the pursuit of happiness instead of being grateful for the constant peace and joy we can have every day, regardless of what we go through.
Super
right
good.
on, Elke, right
Super
there.
good.
And then Studio saying, man, she says, you're so in my lane. I've always struggled trying to perform well enough to become lovable, even likable to people and to God, which I think, man,
Wow.
good insight. And I think we've all been there.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then Elke coming back one more time. She says, for me, my journey through cancer, I knew he was holding my hand through all of it. I was just grateful for every day of positivity because he's got it, not me.
Wow.
Well said. Well said. So these are your top people that have earned the right to say what they're saying.
Yeah.
And they're going, hey, put your hope and confidence in God and let him stabilize your life. It's beautiful.
Well, and that's putting an exclamation on what you were saying. Like, if we would do this,
There you
it'll
go.
change your life.
That's what happens when you hit the hard times.
So good.
Beautiful. Well, John, with that, hey, by the way, nice switch. There's a bunch of different kinds of the shirt. Like, there's like hoodies.
Six different colors.
There's this one. There's different colors.
So online, you got hoodies and you got 6 colors to choose from.
So, and there's all the proceeds go to the Owen Coffee Fund. No, Upside Preschool. So all the proceeds from it, everything that's above the cost of the shirts themselves, go to Upside Preschool, which is a Christian preschool, a full scale just ministry, a hug of love to the community from Heights Church out in Park Collective and PV. And listen,
hug of love. Listen to that, man.
Then there are
hug of love
people in Prescott Valley that we want to see join us at Upside Preschool, discover that hope, stabilize in life. And you grabbing a sweatshirt is a step toward us accomplishing that goal. So grab one of those shirts and then you can wear it and start a conversation. And online people, just for you, like I said, one last time, David, you pop that QR code up one more time. Listen, you join the Heights Online family update list. 10 people I'm going to grab, and I'm going to get you a free sweatshirt. It gets sent to you regardless of where you are, and we're going to do this in time. You get it in time for Christmas. I think I can get it to you if we do it quick. So jump in, scan the QR code right there. If you're in the chat, there's a link at the top of the chat right now. You can click that link, jump in. We'd love to have you join us there. And when you do, also take a look. I'm going to send you an email. Please do that online survey. Let us know how we can serve you better as a church family here through our online ministry. All right, gang, with that, John,
fun.
Anything you can tell us about next week? A little tease, if you can say no.
So next week's on Joy.
Okay.
Ugly sweater.
Ugly sweater.
So are they sending you pictures?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
I actually had this in the chat too. Listen, here's how this is going to work. Okay. If you have a picture of your ugly sweater, you can send it to me. Here's how it's going to work. When you join that update list, okay, then you're going to get my email because I'm going to send you an email. You can reply to that email with your ugly Christmas sweater. And if you send me your pictures, I'm going to show your pictures next week here online.
There you go.
All right. So there you go. So, and then David doesn't know how we're going to do that. He regrets that I said we're going to do that, but we're going to do it.
And then didn't you say you were making a trip to somebody?
Yes. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So I said, if you send them in, then I'm going to pick somebody from that. And John said I have to stay inside the state of Arizona because I was really going for like, hey, let's Hawaii. You out there? It's time. Send me a pic. No, but I'm going to go and I will come and I will visit you. I will buy you coffee somewhere in the state of Arizona. And John's hoping it's like Bisbee or Douglas.
Dude, I'm hoping it's where you want to go.
I want to go see Bisbee.
I hope it's down there.
I think
it'd be a blast.
I love Arizona history. I'm a super nerdy. Paige, Tuba City. We can get out there.
I've been to Tuba City.
There's a lot there in Tuba City.
Tuba City.
So send me out to you. All right, you can jump in. Send me your. Where have you?
That was the one I heard of the other day. Somethingville.
That doesn't narrow.
Meadville.
Meadville. I don't.
Something
Arizona
like
got
that.
a lot.
Did
you know there's a Santa Claus, Arizona?
No.
Yeah, for real.
Where's that at?
It's out. You going up toward Vegas on 93.
Yeah.
There's a little.
Are you serious?
I'm not even kidding. It's Santa Claus, Arizona, and it's all this like themed out like the North Pole. It was like one of those like crazy roadside.
Why are we
attractions.
not going?
I mean, I'd like to. If you out there,
Yeah. If you're out there in Santa Claus, Arizona, you just let us know.
John might even go with me.
I might even go if
you
it's
might even go with me.
Santa Claus.
All right, so we got some ways to interact and have fun. There's Michael and Hades. We wrap this up saying, thanks, Pastor John, for speaking the truth, God's word. If you ever doubt you're helping anyone. You helped at least one person today. God bless.
Thank you.
Out there to Heights Church. Man, we love you guys. We're so thankful to be here with you. On that note, make plans to connect with us some way this week. Like I said, join the Heights, the update list. You can also connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We respond when you send messages. We're real normal people. So if you send us a message, we send you something back. We get to know each other. And then, of course, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit like on today, and that helps YouTube know it's worth sharing for other people. And then make a plan to join us next week, 10 o'clock right here, Arizona time. All right? All right, with that,
Amazing.
my friends, don't forget, you are loved. Let's get those T-shirts, get those sweatshirts. We'll see you next time, and wear those ugly sweaters next week. Send me a picture.
Love you guys.
All right, have a good one. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.